Hi guys, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm currently on vacation with my sisters and we're right by a river and there's lots of wildlife and bugs chirping and stuff going on around us. So I don't know if you'll be able to hear me. I don't know if this will be usable footage, but I kind of just wanted to stand here and tell you guys a little story time. So we got here yesterday, right? And we're at this really cute cabin in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. I don't know if any of you know where that is, but it's famous for like its rivers and for cabins that are right by the river. So we've come here on our very first only sister trip without our parents. And we, are kind of just adventuring out on our own for the first time. And so last night at about like 8 p.m., me and my sister Megan thought it would be a really bright idea to go out on the river when it was dark in the kayaks that our Airbnb host has supplied for us at the cabin. And for just a little background, both of us do not have any successful kayaking experience, and also it was pitch black at the time, okay? So overall, in hindsight, not a very good idea. But anyways, we go out with our life jackets and swim shoes on. And at first it was fine. We were going, we figured it out. We had our canoes tied together, so we were just kayaking. But then eventually, right, we were getting a little further away from the house than we wanted to be. So I'm telling Megan, we gotta paddle back up. We gotta get to the house. We gotta go back, right? And as we're doing this, Megan's canoe kind of taps mine, or kayak kind of taps mine. And so mine flips over and flips me into the water, right? Okay. So then I'm in the water in the pitch black with who knows what swimming around me, being around me. It was very terrifying, very terrifying. And actively as this is happening, we are getting farther and farther away from the light that is coming off of our house, right? Okay, so I'm starting to freak out a little bit, but at this point I still kind of have my calm. I'm kind of collected a little bit. I'm not freaking out too much just yet. Then I can't get back on the canoe, right? And Megan is trying to paddle both me, my canoe, and her canoe back up to the cabin, but she can't because we're literally pulling her backwards. So at this point, I can't get on my canoe and we can't, she's telling me to get to shore, right? So I'm trying to get to the side of the river where our cabins are, right? Okay, I'm trying to get to the side so that I can at least maybe walk and drag my canoe up. Not gonna happen because there was no shore where we were, right? I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of trees, right? Okay, and these trees, their roots just go straight down. There isn't a shore. There isn't a rocky bank I can climb on. It's literally just roots of trees. So there's no way that I can get my canoe up a shore. There's no shore. And I'm a very short person, and I was putting my paddle down and I could not feel a floor at all. So Megan's I'm kind of getting hysterical because again, pitch black. We are in the middle of the river and we are slowly but surely fading away from the only light source, which is our cabin, okay? And I'm freaking out and Megan's freaking out. So she's literally saying, she's like, hey, I'm gonna paddle back to the shore and go get our other sisters and then we'll come back for you. And I was sitting there you can't do that because you can't leave me here. And she was like, no, you got to get to shore. I was like, Megan, there isn't a shore to get to. So I'm hysterical because I think I'm going to die, right? Because I'm sitting here in the middle of this river and there's no way for me to get to shore or to get home, right? Okay. And Megan is trying to keep me cooled down and calm, which is funny for those of you who don't know Megan, because usually she is the one who I have to keep calm all the time. Sorry, there was just an ant on my foot, but I think we got it. I think she knows not to mess with me anymore. Anyways, right? So all this is happening and eventually Megan's like, Emma, I can't keep up with your hystericalness, and just goes, right? And she's going upriver. And so I'm left by myself with my canoe and I have to get to a shore. Okay, and so I'm trying and all I'm feeling on my feet is just the most intense, thick seaweed and just moss that you've ever felt. And if any of you have ever watched any Nat Geo documentaries or anything, you would know that the places where all of the dangerous and scary animals lived would be in the moss and seaweed, hidden from the outside world, right? So I'm thinking I'm stepping in this and I'm literally going to get eaten by something. Like this, this is the day that I die, for real. And so I'm just like screaming. Like at this point, I couldn't even contain myself. I'm full on screaming as I'm trying to battle with my paddle, because I've already, at this point, like I let the canoe go. I let the kayak go. She's gone. She's downriver and she is never coming back. But I have my paddle, right? And I'm trying to use my paddle to get away from the seaweed or to battle the seaweed or whatever. So eventually, right, my knee scrapes against a rock and I start bleeding. But I can tell you guys with certainty that that is the most relief that I've ever felt in my life, because I finally reached solid ground. So I'm climbing up these rocks. I slip a couple times, I scrape my knee more, but I'm finally on shore, and I just sit there and I start like bawling, because obviously, like, even though I might not have been that close to death, guys, like I promise you, it felt like I was about to die. It felt like my sister had just abandoned me for dead. It felt like I was never gonna see my sister again. And when we finally, so she, you know, got her kayak up to a shore that wasn't ours, that was closer to where we were. So she parks her kayak and then comes to get me and is like screaming my name in the middle, and then like we just run up and we hug each other. And she's telling me that she literally, when she was paddling up to try and go get help or to get to shore herself so she could come help me, she thought she would never see me again, and I thought I would never see her again. So that was our first night of our first sisters only trip. We are now, the canoe, my kayak is lost to sea, and it's $1,500 to replace it, which obviously I will happily pay, because we were, you know, stupid and shouldn't have gone out as inexperienced kayakers in the middle of the night. But yeah, that was our near-death experience to start our trip, and I think it's gonna be a lovely time, other than obviously what had just happened. So I just thought I'd get on the phone and I'd talk to you guys about it, because yeah, I just needed to get it off my chest, because wow, it was a lot. And then we come back, right, and we're trying to tell my other two sisters, because I have 3 sisters, so we're trying to tell the other 2 what happened, and they don't really understand the gravity of the situation. But then this morning, right, we were like, oh, you know, talking to the Airbnb girl, and we were like, hey, we're so sorry, we lost a kayak, whatever. And they were like, wait, you lost a kayak? And we were like, we told you this story yesterday, but you didn't believe us, because by the time we'd gotten back up to the cabin, they were both sitting inside watching Friends, and we had been gone for like an hour, and they did not even come and like look to see where we were. So in conclusion, I will be looking for and taking applications for new sisters, because either mine send me into death traps, or they don't care enough to come look after me after I have braved the death trap. So thank you guys for listening. I hope you have a great day. Love, Emma.